So this is a snap ring jack, okay? The reason we use those is because they don't move deployed a whole lot. There's another style that our competition uses. God love them. They put a pin through a pipe, and this thing moves like this, and it moves the same in the other axis. So you want to take a stab at what that's going to do when the house catches a nice crosswind once or twice too many. Boop, fall, right? So these jacks are going to fail when they're not built this way. To take it off, there's a snap ring behind there. Any gearheads, automotive buffs? Of course you do, because you got probably every tool I have. Staying right in the front, going slow. That guy. He's a good guy to know on this one. You can pick on him the rest of the time, but be his buddy on this build, okay? So they're just little pliers with prongs. You go in there, you gotta locate where this is. It happens to be right here on the bottom, and you got two little ears with holes in them, and you put the prongs from the pliers in those holes, squeeze the pliers, and spread those ears. And this big ring all the way around that axle is gonna kind of pop open like a big spring, and then very carefully remove that, and then instantly get the tension off of that before it takes one of your front eyes out. Because they like to pop off these pliers when you're not paying attention, and they come in hot, real hot. So just be careful. It's happened a couple of times, but not every time. Just going over the pair of snap ring pliers, heavy duty ones, because that's a pretty severe snap ring. Open that up, and then the jack will just slide off. Same thing happens if we have to replace these. We use this style and we struggle to get them built. They're built specifically for us in the industry. That's why everybody else uses the not so cool design, because these are our jacks. And this is more stable, but not perfect. It's just as best we have today. So if anybody's got a better idea, I always ask design students. I'm from the Missouri state of Missouri. We call it Show Me State. So if you got a better idea than I've come up with, show me. Maybe attach your resume while you're at it. So let's talk more. So that takes care of that answer your question on this, right? All right. Next we talked about, this is actually 8.6 wide, isn't it?
No,
It is 8?
we had to go that.
Yeah. That's right. Now I remember. Okay, because this is generally like our widest. Okay.
No, we haven't verified the one.
Maybe we should, huh? How wide is this thing? Okay, so you guys see on both sides we've got the angles to attach the walls to. So underneath is where we drill up once we have the walls stood up. Alright, so we're going to lay our sheathing down, we're going to snap chalk lines. We want to get the tubes and the sill plate on the front and the back. So again, we're going to use that kind of diagonal screw schedule as wide as 3.5 inches lets us. You know what I mean? You're going to kind of set it here. So again, to try and get something to this side of the track on the bottom plate, so you can get into this part of the steel and you don't have a hinge.
Even be a half inch in.
You're going to come in a half inch. Was it a half? You're a half inch on either end, right? Okay. So layout, pretty critical. For us, it's usually rough in construction, get it real close, and then just router the edges so it looks nice. But if you've got fitment issues on the ends after you install your sheathing, that's going to be pretty critical. You want to make sure you got a half inch on both sides so it's not sitting racked out of square. Every third cross member, 2 sheets of subfloor sheathing are going to intersect, right? So we screw, and you had asked me 12s. What do you guys did? They were 12 inches.
Yeah.
It's okay to double it up here, so you can do 6. You know what I mean? In between.
Right.
That's okay. You want 32 screws per Huber in a sheet of zip for the warranty to be in effect. So the lifetime warranty that Huber puts on their zip on their Advantech subflooring has to have 32 screws in it.
Okay.
That's why we do 12s on 16s. So you got them all around the perimeter and in the field, and it fills up the void. Okay. I smelled it inside. The spray adhesive that you guys built your modeling with, that's the same basic stuff that I spray this with to lay down the sill seat. That just holds it there. You've got some in your hand. You want to bring it over. So this is the wider stuff. Anybody want to guess where it goes? The widest part of the sill, right? So here, we got a little bit of a challenge because we have so much steel, right? What I would probably do is run 2 courses of this side by side. So I don't have any steel touching the underside of my subfloor. So I don't have any moisture or sweating issues with the steel. It's really, really cold or hot. And then use the thinner stuff. I've even seen my guys kind of being frugal, but almost to a fault. Take this, lay it out, and then rip it, and then stick it down. But it's up to you. I mean,
We got the pre-installs too.
what's the roll of that? $11 bucks. I'll let you decide if you want to move with it or not. It might save you $3 or $4 on the project. If that's important, you do it. But if it's not that important, I say move on to the next step. All right. Going over the fenders too. Just so you guys know, that's one thing we didn't discuss. These are non-structural fenders. We had there was a social media post where somebody said our fenders weren't strong, or something's not quite straight with the competition, because that builder actually did a step wrong on our trailer. They didn't secure the fender to the header of the wall, so it had a bit of a sag in it. And all it is 11 gauge sheet metal, guys. It's not structural. It's not supposed to hold it. All it is keeping mud out of your house. So make sure your header is what you're setting your wall on, not this fender, right? But put a gasket of some kind, neoprene, sill seal, whatever, between the header and the fender, and then go up under here and attach those. Run some tech screws or GRK grabbers, some kind. Get a handful so you can attach this and get this squish, make your gasket seal. And then go on the outside of it with liquid substrate so you can get a drip edge too, so you can prevent all of your moisture from creeping in underneath stuff. Redundancy here is pretty paramount because this is different. We don't really build wooden houses. We build on concrete foundations mostly. So there's some extra moisture stuff that we've got to mitigate. That's why the roll of stuff here is one of our best friends. Questions from here? You guys feel pretty comfortable in the subfloor installation?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
For the bolts that are going through for the walls, we don't have a super magnetic drill press.
Rent
so
one.
Okay, or what about just going from the top? Is that...
Can't go from the top.
All right.
I say rent a mag drill because it's like 25 to 40 bucks all day at a tool center. I don't think you'll get it at a Home Depot tool rental. You have to go to like a rental tool supply like United Rentals or something like that. But that's okay. I prefer that you guys go and get that experience talking to that guy or that girl at the counter, because they have a lot of other tools that make these jobs very, very easy that you may not know are on their shelves. So I say go in and do a little window shopping. You're there for a mag drill. Well, you might find that a couple nail guns and a pancake compressor rented for the weekend would help too. That type of stuff. So you guys are local, we're local, we'll loan you ours. I got no problem with that. I just need to schedule it because I only have one. They're expensive. And we use it almost daily in our shop building stuff. So I just need to schedule it. If you guys want to go that route, we'll come over and we'll help you learn how to use it. Let everybody get a swing at the plate. Punching a big hole through big steel. Coolant, stuff like that. But you can, there's other hand drill type cutters that we have available. Some of the other guys in our shop source those. They're expensive and they're pretty hard on hand drills. Going through this 10 or 12 or more times is probably going to wipe out whatever you're pulling the trigger on. So I'd rather you rent the drill or let us loan you ours, because you're not going to tear one of those up. They're purpose built.
So we have one, the second one is that it's going to pump ready to be picked up. All our training is done today, so is anyone available to pick it up tomorrow, Blake?
I can go tomorrow.
Cool. She's gonna have the bill of sale for us as well. But how we stage these here is something we have to figure out.
This is the build site.
Build side right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a challenge. I would probably point the noses this way and let the wheels, back up over whatever gives the rear end up. Start leveling it that way. That is one thing. For those of you watching on YouTube, don't use these jacks to pick your house up. Don't use them to pick your trailer up off the ground. You can, and we have, but do what I say, not what I do, okay? The reason that we've picked them up before, we'll grab each jack on the side, lift this up, put the wheels on, or change a flat tire, set it up. That's what I'm talking about. These are not landing jacks. They're not columns. They're not supports. They are stabilizers. The engineered design of the foundation is meant to put 12,000 pounds of cargo, dead weight, on these 4 tires and 2 axles and 4 springs. If you take that out of the equation, you've also taken every bit of engineering out of this design. Now you're on your own. You've probably got Noah's Ark. And you probably got a house that's fallen in on itself. So don't pick it up at the corners is the moral there. If you have to get the tires up on one side, move it forward and backwards, or shim the tires while it's empty. So you can pick it up, put some stuff under the low tires, and then crank it back down and see where you're at. But ideally, you want your last 5 to 10% of final level in to come from these handles. Everybody understand that process? It's tedious, but it's going to make it a whole lot better if you do it at the wheels first, and then kind of fine tune this last. All right. I can't think of anything else. You guys got anything else for me? You're all experts. Nobody has any questions at all. That's amazing. You're the smartest group. I'm just kidding. When you guys get stuck, call us. You're going to get stuck. Don't MacGyver it. Give us a call first. Run your MacGyver idea by us. We'll say, yeah, that sounds great. Do it. Or, we found a better way. We'll let you know. Okay? So feel free to bounce that stuff off those. We want you to be safe through the process because we want this thing to stand up and we want to be proud of it for many, many, many years. Right?
If we're going to mount receivers for a leveling jack,
Yes.
where should we be placing them?
Receiver tubes? Like the jacks?
Like something that the jack stand would be able to come in and fit properly without just going right up against the metal.
Could. But my question is, why would you?
Could we just do it just with the jack right underneath?
If you remember, we were trying
We're
to
worried about tipping
get the wheels.
tipping back and forth. When we're trying to bring up the front and then the back.
Do it side to side.
That's okay.
Yeah. Going from one side, pick it up, get it down. Go over there, pick it up, and then lower it down. That's what I was explaining when we had to do an axle swap on the tiny house down in San Antonio. Yours truly was the mechanic. I was literally under that house for a couple hours, undoing everything. But I was really surprised at how easy it was to get the thing up a foot or so off the ground, take the wheels off, take the axles off, have room to work under it, and it sit there very, very stable. We put dunnage in right here, and then at the corners. Okay? So as long as you've got weight supported at the fenders, you're cool. Okay? It does not have to be right here where the 2 axle beams cross the chassis. Okay? So when you guys are worried about where to support the loads in the middle, just go around the perimeter. It's okay. But fore and aft of the wheels, because they're not going to be in play anymore, it doesn't sound like. And maybe a foot or so in, a couple feet in, because we got these. So it's okay if we split that up, maybe put one here, and then we got the rear one. That's a lot of support. I mean, the thing's probably going to, once it's landed, you probably won't notice than if we're walking around on a trailer. It's probably going to feel a lot like the asphalt we're all
You did
standing on
that,
now.
when you were lifting up to take the running gear out, you did that just with bottle jacks? And you were
Harbor Freight 20-ton bottle jack for $80 or whatever, and then a 20% off coupon. Thanks Harbor Freight, we love you guys. $60 or so I think for the jacks, and the guys at the school had a couple there when I showed up, and I brought a couple more with us, and we had a guy, oh, slow down a little, I gotta catch up, you know, whoop, whoop, 20, 30 minutes, and it was off the wheels, the axles were out, and it was sitting on the ground effectively. So it's not a real involved process. It's a little sketchy because it's a house, but at the end of the day, I did it without breaking a sweat. I'll do it again as a demonstration here. We get to that point. I'm not freaked out by it.
Okay.
So you guys should be. Any questions on the rest of the attachments or any of that stuff that we went over? Side? We're out here looking at what we discussed. Maybe I'm just that talkative that you all have it all memorized like I do. We'll go with that.
They're all hoping that this video is available for us tomorrow.
Drinking from a fire hydrant, show of hands. Was this a lot? Sorry. But it is a lot. It was as simple as just building a cute little house on a trailer. This thing would probably already be legalized and fully accepted all over the United States, right? But we're not there yet. We're still doing some learning and some faking it till we make it, so to speak. This is as good a method as we have now. Tomorrow, if I, have a sleepless night and I have some new idea in the middle of it, and I wake up and I go, aha, we're going to do this from now on, and it works, well, then we'll change that story. But currently, this is the best way from start to finish that we can come up with, that we have come up with, that we have seen come up with, for the dollars, effort, and labor involved. There's a couple little shortcomings here. That's one thing. Come over here, I want to show, you guys standing over there can see that, maybe half of it come around the back side. I want to show you maybe this half come around over here. Other half, if you stay there, we're going to look underneath the sill plate, okay? So where those bolts go through, the wall sitting on top, right here is a pretty decent thermal bridge, right? It's 4 to 6 inches wide, so we want to put some treated lumber under here, sandwich that with our subfloor. Does everybody follow that? So like a 2x4, 2x6, it's just to break it, yeah, because I got a tube stacked to another tube, that'll slow this down considerably, but I'm ultimately still going to have 3.5 inches of wall and about 1 inch of uninsulated steel in the floor. So let's put a brake, an R3 or R4 brake here, a 2x4, 2x6, flat up against the underside of the sill plate, drill through all of that together, and then sandwich bolt that with our anchor and our jack studs. Okay? That was one very key thing that, depending on climate, builders have tweaked that somewhat. I've seen where they put a spacer between the wood and the steel and then fill it up with spray foam. That's okay too. Again, there's better ways. It's just how much more labor. The most efficient that tackles the most problems in one swoop is what we're discussing. There's certainly higher advanced, more technical ways to address thermal bridging. I say this is a non-occupied structure of 200 square feet or less. Thermal bridging is damaging. We don't live in Alaska, right? It's 200 square feet, everybody. One thing that I have spent years talking about and traveling, this is not a 2,500 square foot house that your mom and dad own. So thermal bridging isn't this boogeyman in this small a footprint as people would have you believe. Sure, it's an issue. Thermodynamics exists whether it's 1 square foot or 1 million square feet. But at the end of the day, you can put as much insulation and money and time and resource into insulating a 200 square foot structure as your mom and dad did in their 2,500 square foot house, and you're no better for it. You're actually going the wrong way. So if you over insulate and over tighten these envelopes up, they're going to smell like stinky Yeti coolers that have fish guts in them, right? They get funky because they don't breathe. We don't fill up the cavity in the subfloor fully because you got to have passive airflow through the crawl space of the house. Everybody knows that, right? These are the common sense things that we've learned to be able to kind of raise our hand on your behalf and say, it's common for people to do this needlessly. So we're going to say, please don't. Save money and put it towards something else in the project, okay? You guys understand that? Don't get this thing like R700 so that it'll run 30 minutes less on an air conditioner every day. You're going to pull 10 or 12 amps full capacity on this with a mini split AC unit and a few LED lights at best. You probably wouldn't have to insulate this thing a whole lot. You know, maybe R15 in the walls, that's 3 inches of open cell foam or peak bats, and a decent little 120 volt heater air conditioner mini split unit. And this thing will be very, very comfortable year round in this climate zone, all the way up to probably 7,000 or 8,000 feet in elevation. And then we want to talk about adding a little more R value to the structure. But where we are today, climate zone 5 in Denver, we got an R30, 35 floor. We're going to have R15 or 20 roof and walls. And that's good. That's really, really good in this size. So don't spend a lot of energy on this. Okay? What's next? Anything?
So use that underneath the flange to do that? What would you suggest for faster?
You can bolt it directly. Yep. And then use you're talking about like exterior grade conduit, like 90s. Yeah, just do a 90 through that tube for your chase, and then turn your 90 down, and then you can put your conduit to it. Yeah. Again, like I said, it's going to be very, very similar to what you maybe already seen out in the field. LOs, T's, conduit. We're just figuring out new places to put that stuff that we already know. Anybody else? All right. Everybody probably needs a cup of coffee after spending a couple hours with me. I'll exhaust you. Thank you guys so much for putting up with us today and asking all 4 of your questions. They were great. You guys will have more. That's why I'm not railing you too much today. Yeah, get started. Have fun. And keep exposed to hashtag us. Tiny House Experts and Trailer Made Trailers. And we'll put you guys all over social media and stuff too. This one will probably be up. We can probably load it on the way to work, I guess. I'll just put it right to YouTube, won't edit it. So it'll be a lot of fast forwarding.